So we're gonna start with a bit of rapid fire. And the bit of rapid fire is that Stacy Keibler has been officially announced to the WWE Hall of Fame. So Stacy Keibler now joins Keiji Muto, Rey Mysterio, and Andy Kaufman as the inductees for the class of 2023. If I had to guess, alongside the announcement of Dana Warrior announcing the winner of the Warrior Award, which will take place this year at WrestleMania, or the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, I should say, instead of being announced ahead of time. I would say that there's very much a likelihood that we will get at least one more inductee before the Hall of Fame ceremony next week, which hopefully will be a referee. As I, for one, believe that the announcement of a referee possibly being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year is not only much deserved, but long overdue. Becky Lynch wants to said in a recent interview with a local Irish magazine, that she would love to defend the women's championship at WrestleMania, the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania, which I don't know if it's official, but with Becky's interview, she mentioned that she would be in the 6-person tag team match, or in the 6-woman tag team match on night one, and if that's the case, and the women's showcase matches on night one, which if I was WWE, I would put one of the showcase matches on night one and the other on night two. But if the women's 6-man, Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch, and Lita against Damage Control is on night one, then there's no reason why you can't have Becky and Lita defend the tag team titles on night two and give the women's tag team titles the proper spotlight that they deserve. Because if you want to continue to repair the perception of the championships, then it also factors in repairing the perception of the women's tag team titles, and giving them a match at WrestleMania is a step in the right direction as far as repairing the women's tag team titles. The Matt Cardona has also gone on record in a recent interview to say that he will find his way back to WWE, but just now is not the time. Which a lot of people thought when the rumor came that Chelsea Green was coming back to WWE, being Matt Cardona's wife, that it would likely lead to Matt Cardona coming back to WWE as well. But the Royal Rumble came and gone, and WrestleMania season is in full swing. So the idea of Cardona being back in WWE anytime soon, I mean, unless he's playing a long game, and unless that match with in Battle Championship Wrestling against Bully Ray is canceled in July, which there would have been no reason for them to announce it this early if it was going to get canceled, he ain't coming anytime soon. The fact of the matter is, I think a lot of people would love to see Matt Cardona back in WWE, as long as he's Matt Cardona and not the dim-witted Zack Ryder that he was before. Or the held-back Zack Ryder that he was before. Now we shift over to Sakura Genesis. As Sakura Genesis has been something that we've spoken about in the past, and on April 8th, the full card for Sakura Genesis has been announced, with the Shinichi Championship Grand Prix celebration match. The United Empire, Francisco Akira, Jeff Cobb, and Aaron Hennar against the House of Torture, Yujiro Takahashi, Evil, and Show. And then we move to another 6-man tag team match with Master Wato, Tamatanga, and Tangaloa against the Bullet Club. That being David Finlay, El Fantasmo, and Kenta. Then we move to another 6-man with Los Ingobernables de Japón, Naito, Shingo Takagi and Bushi against just three guys, which is Sonata's stable. Just three guys, Taichi, Doki, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. The Women's Championship is on the line. The IWGP Women's Championship is on the line in a rarely seen triple threat match with Mercedes Moné defending the Women's Championship against AZM and Hazuki, where the winner will defend at Stardom's upcoming event in a couple of weeks. Zack Sabre Jr. will defend the New Japan World Television Championship against Shota Umino. The IWGP Tag Team titles, Bishiman, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi against Aussie Open, Mark Davis, and Kyle Fletcher. As I mentioned in the past, Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher are going to have a busy week the week before, because this is the Saturday following WrestleMania weekend. They are competing at the Impact Wrestling's joint show with New Japan in a four-way for the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles, and then the following night they are also competing in a five-way for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. So they have an opportunity to become the FTR of 2023, getting various shots at various championships in various companies. Hiromu Takahashi will defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against Robbie Eagles, and of course, Kazuchika Okada will defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the winner of the New Japan Cup, Sonata. That is Sakura Genesis on April 8th, and also on April 8th, Battle Riot from MLW as Shingehiro Iri will be in action at the event Battle Riot on April 8th against Calvin Tankman for the for a respective WXW championship that I did not write down. So let's go find the news story and see if we can get it there. Honestly, I can't remember what the story was. But I'm also trying to keep in the match, so I gotta maybe create some distance. But yes, Shingehiro Iri would defend his respective WXW championship against Calvin Tankman on the event, and I will correct myself when I do find out which WXW title it is. And it is the WXW Unified Championship at Battle Riot, which right now the only matches set for Battle Riot 5 are the 40-man Battle Royal, where the winner gets a future title shot against Alex Hammerstone, and Alex Hammerstone defending his World Championship against Real One. But also that is set to be a busy April 8th because New Japan and MLW are both having shows. But also New Japan has MLW has MLW has their show also on April 6th. MLW also has a show on April 6th, so they have two shows back-to-back. Well, not back-to-back, but they have two shows not long after each other. And now we move to the big news. Not to say that the other stuff was not big news, but the original plans for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. I think we've spoken about this in the past, but it pays to revisit it and speak about it again. as the original plans for WrestleMania, for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania, were Ronda Rousey defending her championship, her SmackDown Women's Championship, against against Rhea Ripley, rather. And Charlotte Flair challenging Bianca Belair. And then that changed when WWE chose to go in a different direction. And also, I think it's because Ronda Rousey chose to take off the month of January. So WWE went in a different direction and chose to give Charlotte Flair the Women's Championship, which, according to reports, Charlotte Flair did not know she was going to win until the night she was going to win it. Which is crazy that they would keep that to herself, that they would keep that to themselves. But I think I prefer the plans that they went with as opposed to the initial plan that they had, because I think that the plans they're going with Bianca Belair against Asuka, even though that has been an underwhelming build to the Raw Women's title match, and the SmackDown Women's title, which is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte, I think with the history that Rhea Ripley and Charlotte have, even though Charlotte and Bianca Belair would have had a great match, it is still a better match, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte and Bianca Belair versus Asuka. And also, props to Ronda Rousey for calling out WWE's lackluster creative and not really putting much thought into the Women's Championship feuds. And the evidence was the feud last year with Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan, when Liv Morgan won the championship. The one thing I could credit it to is it was right around the time that it was still a continuation of the previous regime. And because the feud started at Money in the Bank, when Liv Morgan beat Ronda Rousey for the Women's Championship after cashing in Money in the Bank. So it is possible that is one of the reasons why. But it doesn't excuse the fact that they could have sat down and tried to figure out a better way to put together that feud than the way they did. Even though I think Ronda Rousey got what she wanted out of it, because that's the first time the Liv Morgan feud is, when we started seeing Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler pairing up on TV. But now, as I've said multiple times in the past, Impact Wrestling kicks off. The joint show with Impact Wrestling kicks off WrestleMania weekend with Impact Wrestling and New Japan's Multiverse United show on March 30th. And then we shift over to Rampage, the go-home show for SmackDown, and Supercard of Honor on March 31st, and also the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Also, WrestleMania on April 1st, alongside NXT, Stand and Deliver on April 1st, and then WrestleMania Night 2 on April 2nd. And then we move alongside the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame induction on Sunday, April 2nd. And then Monday is, of course, the Raw After Mania. It is WrestleMania week. And you know what that means? It means it's going to be a hell of a week for content. So buckle up your seats and get ready, because it's going to be the best week to be a wrestling fan and the most important week to be a wrestling fan, because less than a week away is WrestleMania 39. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the build-up as much as I have, and the build too that we still have to go, because we have 6 days to go from WrestleMania until WrestleMania 39. With that being said, I will see you in the next news video.